Hello and welcome, guys. Hope you can hear me okay. My mic seems a little bit on the lower side, but there we go. Qualifying for the Spanish Grand Prix now, just 6-7 minutes away. Thank you, guys. Primcat and Kimi Phoenix waiting before I even get here. Love it. Thank you. Massively appreciated for you guys watching along. Well, that was a bit of a croaky but yeah, a lot of news coming into this session pre-Barcelona. I did a preview to this Grand Prix, and then I was almost like probably need to do another one, and then another one, because the news just kept flowing. Fernando Alonso, the big one, although not really covered, said this is his last Barcelona Grand Prix. That doesn't necessarily mean he won't be on the grid for next season. Because obviously Barca is now rotating year on year with Spa. So next year it's Spa's turn, and then it will be back to Barca in 2028. And Fernando Alonso hinting that potentially this could be his last year. We might see him next year, but very unlikely for 2028. He's already almost sort of said his goodbyes in the pre-race press conference. So I thought that was a big deal on that one. Yes, lots of drama, Kimi, with the speeding penalties. Coming to that one. That is one of the big ones as well. You were right. You called it well before your nemesis Crofty called it. You said there was an error with the speeding machinery. Well, it looked that way when you get 7 or 8 penalties. Apparently 13 or 14 penalties over the whole weekend, speeding pit lane penalties. But Pierre Gasly gets his P3 podium position, but there's an asterisk against that as well, because McLaren and Red Bull have both said they wish to appeal it. Crazy, actually, that we get an error like that. And it was actually admitted by FOM, the management, the guys that actually managed the data on that. It then passed on to the FIA, who make the decisions. They couldn't see that in race, pre-race. Surprised it wasn't done pre-race anyway, because FOM should have been able to pick that up early doors. They've had free practice sessions to look into that, so it wasn't the first time cars have been going through the pit lane, but probably not in anger like they were in race day. Yeah, Red Bull is, you're right, Primcat. I don't think they want to give that trophy back, because they've said, well, they're going to appeal it. So we'll see what happens with that. They've put their notice of intent in, which they had to do within an hour of the decision. Then they've got 96 hours to put a formal appeal across. Both Red Bull and McLaren seeking advice, or whether they go ahead and do that next step. We'll find out. So that's 96 hours. That takes us to Tuesday in the week. So we'll see what happens on that one. But yes, for now, Pierre Gasly gets his P3. I was actually really surprised when they got through the first phase of the new evidence part. They was obviously helped by FOM saying, here's the evidence, which was provided on the Wednesday after Monaco. The FIA sort of said that evidence was enough to get them into the next stage of the appeal process, or the right to review process, because the first one, it pretty much always fails. When any team's gone to give them new evidence, it's always thrown out. They've always just sort of said, no, there's not sufficient enough for XYZ. But obviously I think Alpine really helped by FOM just coming clean on that one with the mistake. 72 centimeters. One of the timing loops was off, so then it just over exaggerated the speed down the pit lane. Interestingly enough, though, a lot of drivers still managed to do that. Issues were reported in free practice, and teams worked around it. And so that's why a number of teams didn't get penalties, and just a few got caught out. Alpine got caught out. It looks like they didn't do the homework or any adjustments on that one, because Franco Colapinto also got a penalty, I think, as well afterwards. So 3 Alpine penalties for speeding in the pit lane. McLaren's as well. Interestingly enough, though, the McLaren appeal, because in race, Zach Brown had said that they'd seen on their data that actually Piastri was speeding. So that is going to be a bit of an odd one. We'll see what happens with the Red Bull. Obviously, Isaac Hadjar is the one that's lost out a podium. Bit of a shame, actually, because I thought it was a really, really good podium. And the penalties are the penalties, but if they're done unfairly, how do you then go and all the other ones that were handed out unjustly? George Russell, the worst done of the lot, basically, 5-second penalty, didn't have to take it. He actually, in team radio, sort of said, let's not take this penalty and we'll sort it out at the end. But the team decided against that. Ultimately, also, he had to pit and they changed his tyres and he got an additional, even worse penalty for it. So where do they go on that? Mercedes said they don't think their appeal will work on the same grounds as the Alpine one did, but they're seeking advice, legal advice, and what their remedy is from the FIA. So they've opened a real can of worms for themselves on that one. Some of the track coming towards Penny, for example. Yeah, some drivers race every centimetre of the track. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right, Kimi. I think I was watching one of the podcasts in the week. It's the High Performance Racing podcast with Jake Humphrey, the engineer, Rob Smedley, who was Felipe Massa's engineer, and the Otmar Zafnauer, the Alpine team principal, who was... Dave said that was actually, it was Michael Schumacher was the first to really, really maximize pit lane entry. He almost treated it like it was part of the race. And so sort of that started from that point. And rightly so. But what do you do in a scenario like this? And how do you remedy when you've had so many penalties, some obviously taking it, they didn't really matter too much in the sense of Oscar Piastri. Lewis Hamilton as well, but you have got George Russell. That was really hard done by his penalty. There's a number of drivers that got hard done by, but yet it's only Pierre Gasly that got the remedy, and that's only because of the fact that he didn't take his penalty. So what do you do? Do you just not take it and fight your battle after the race? A can of worms that basically the FIA, I'm pretty sure, didn't want opening, but you kind of have to hope you hold your hands up when you've got it as badly wrong as they have. Pirelli have signed a new deal until 2028. They are going to be the sole tyre supplier for another year. The extension was until 27. They're now in 28 now, so we'll see Pirelli continue. She was doing Adelaide in 94, 95. Adelaide, before I was born. Wow, Primcat. Yeah, he is. That was a little bit before my time as well, to be honest. So I was about 7 years old in 94, 95, something like that, 7, 8 years old. So wasn't really the Formula One head. Mine really was started at the end of 97, 98 when I was like a little nerdy, and I used to record them on the VHS tapes. Every single Grand Prix, I had stacks and stacks of videotapes. Actually pretty wounded that it was about 15 years ago that I decided to get rid of him. I used to record every single Grand Prix qualifying session race on VHS tapes. I used to stack them up and spend pretty much any money that I had on videotapes to record Formula One. Pretty sad, I know. Different world now. You can just, you don't need to have stacks and stacks of videotapes. If it was where it was now, I'd probably just have them on my fingertips on a SD card or something, wouldn't you? Different world now. So yeah, that's the news on Pirelli. It is the Barcelona-Catalunya Grand Prix, this one, not the Spanish Grand Prix, as the state Grand Prix is now the Madring. So we'll see that another divide in the Spanish capital with Catalonia and Madrid. So this is now the Barcelona-Catalunya Grand Prix. You've still got them, Kimi. Oh my God, I envy you. I recorded them all too on DVD, or you're a bit more high tech than me. I had the old block VHS cassette tapes from 98 all the way through to, I think it was about 2004, 5 when I stopped. Just got a bit too much for me then. So that's when it kind of came crashing down. But yeah, you've done well to keep them all. That's some, especially because you've literally got everything live, isn't it? None of this, like, as you get now, sort of, you get full Grand Prix, but the parts cut out and edited out and all that sort of stuff. So to have the original live is always pretty special. Yeah, well done you with the DVD. Yeah, no, mine was just all VHS, and then yeah, it just stopped after a bit. I used to, I don't know if ever you had it in where you are, but you used to have the F1 Racing magazine as well, which was a one-off. It absolutely was free to air then. Good old days of ITV, but with about 1 million breaks. I remember a couple of Grand Prix, they'd just go to a break, and they'd do it traditionally with about 4 or 5 laps to go, but a massive race right towards the end, and they just went for a break on the last lap, and we came back and found out whoever had won. I can't remember the race now, but fuming. They did issue an apology, but yeah. But I used to stack F1 Racing magazines as well. Ian Silvestri magazine, I think. That's a bit, I'm not sure. But yeah, it used to be called the F1 Racing magazine. We used to come out once a month. I used to stack them up as well. Other news, Charles Leclerc, as we're 13 minutes into the qualifying session, not really going into the qualifying much, are we? It's only Q1. And to be honest, if you've watched FP1, 2, and 3, there is a huge gap from top to bottom in this one, isn't it? The gap and spread between the cars is huge. You can really see the 3-tier F1 at the moment. Tier 1 really just being Mercedes. This weekend, it's Mercedes and McLaren. Ferrari are thereabouts as well. Red Bull a little bit off, and then you've got Series 2 starts from sort of Alpine down to Audi, and then you've got Series 3, which is the Cadillac and Aston Martin's is the way it stands. Huge gaps. It was from first towards the last was nearly over 4 seconds. So massive spread as the racing and the season's gone on, which is really interesting because the gaps were not very big in the first 2 or 3 Grand Prix. And well, I guess it's, I mean, you could talk about money as well, but now we've got the cost cap. And yes, you've still got teams like Haas that don't develop in-house. It's all, development teams that they source, or different companies that do the development and of the chassis and tech. So they pay a premium on that. That's how they stay in business. That obviously they've always been, since they've started Haas, really the ones that have just developed the worst in season. But teams like Aston Martin, Alpine, Audi, new, you can probably cut them a bit of slack. Aston Martin, Williams, these all shouldn't really have the excuse of just being slow development. They've now not got the huge gaps that we used to see years ago where, Ferrari, McLaren had a budget of nearly 400-500 million a year, and everybody else was on about 50 or 60. With the budget cap, everybody was there or thereabouts. So it's really down to what you do and how you do it with the equipment. Don't get me wrong, there's still going to be differences in quality of equipment, and the ones that have been at the top of that cap cut for the last 2 years or 3 years, they're naturally going to have that better equipment and the knowledge and everything else there, but shouldn't quite see the spread out that we've got so far. But I guess it's something that will develop And we'll see how that goes on. Charles Leclerc has got the carbon industry brakes after criticizing the Italian brand Brembo, who supply his brake discs. His actual caliper is still a Brembo caliper, just its carbon industry discs. He's actually gone really well on them. In all 3 practice sessions, he's looked comfortably faster than Lewis Hamilton. Whether he really likes these brakes and will switch like Lewis has done, we'll see. But Brembo hit back actually with surprises, because he's their factory driver, and they've hit out at him, said it's not our brakes, it must be you. So, or something along those lines. So interesting to see that. But for now, carbon industry, and they're working for Charles Leclerc. He seems on it and much better. We've also had the a duo announcement, which shows that Red Bull are the best engine. Make sense. Apparently, Red Bull really clearly, like probably everybody else, surprised at that announcement, have sort of said, can we clarify this? The problem is that it's a secret test. So without giving away how they test the engine, how do they clarify they've come up with that? And the reason they've kept it secret is obviously if they tell everybody how they're going to test, they'll make ways to work around, the test to make them look bad but still be good. Merck 2% behind, get 1 upgrade this year and £3 million more, and 70 hours more on testing on the test bench compared to Ferrari, Audi, Honda. Even with the best engine, everybody knows they've got the best engine, but the problem is it's just on the ice and not on the electrical unit. Surprising on that one. Ferrari, Honda, Audi get 4% or are slower than 4% than the best engine. They get obviously more money and bench time on a sliding scale, but they've not. FIA apparently been threatened legally with saying how bad the worst engine is, so they've just had to say they're worse than 4%. So on a sliding scale, despite them all crying and complaining about how bad their engines are, they're now, once it's been announced that yes, you have got a bad engine, they don't want everybody to see how bad it is. Who said they had the best engine, Primcat? It was the FIA in a test. So for the Aduro, the ADUO, I don't know what the hell it actually stands for, but something along the lines of you get more development of your power unit opportunity. So they'll get an extra, to call it sort of a token, if you're 2% to 4% behind the fastest engine, which has been said to Red Bull have the best engine benchmark. And this is just the ICE, just the combustion engine part of the engine, not the whole unit. It's I'm surprised they've done it that way, because the whole unit, it should be classed together, isn't it? It's 50-50. So how do you test? I think the problem is that they didn't know how to test both with the way the electronic sides of it work. So it gets really difficult. I wouldn't want the FIA poking around my F1 engine. You wouldn't, would you? But that's their job. They kind of have to, don't they, to keep it fair, or to judge how to hand out these additional benefits so people can catch up. Really, it was so that we didn't have the issue that we had previously with Renault when we had the engine freeze and they just had a crap engine. Then they froze the development of the engine and they just were stuck with it for 3 or 4 years, weren't they? So what they really should have done is just said, you can keep developing it, but I guess they had to do it in the way they're doing it now, aren't they? You can keep developing it, but here's your budget to do that development, and the problem is that if you've all got the same money, then the best are just going to keep going ahead. But I guess they could do what they've done with where you finish in the championship and how much money you get to develop your car power unit. And I think they should have probably have done that route, because if you do get a poor engine, then you've got some way of catching up to the guys ahead. There shouldn't be decimate or anything, surely. Well, FIA basically have a blueprint of every car, don't they? So they can test whether or check whether it's legal. All parts go through FIA scrutiny, don't they? To say whether it's allowed or not. Big came to a head when they had the Braun double diffuser, if you remember that, in 2009. Braun had said, we'd told you all along what we've got with what we're doing and develop with it, and you've said it's fine, and it's legal, so protest all you like. The FIA have checked this all along and they've said it's fine. Same happened with the DAS system, wasn't it, with the Mercedes pulling the steering wheel forward, a bit like Mario Kart, wasn't it, and the engine lining straight up. FIA, they kept FIA in the loop of that to check and make sure it's going to be legal before they spend a load of money on something that's not. And they said it was fine, and then everybody kicked a fuss. Sticking to engines, we've got a new engine rule for 2027. It's a 58-52 split, so more power coming from the combustion engine compared to the MG UK, the battery side of things. So going in the right direction. Surprisingly, though, they're only moving to 60-40 in 28. So I was kind of hopeful that they would split that more, sort of go to 70-30 engine battery, and then eventually get rid of the whole thing by 2030, 31 for the V8s. They got the super majority, so either Audi or Ferrari, one of the two, are probably still not very happy about that. But I think this is probably the compromise that they had, because Audi said they still wanted to stick with this power unit or this split until they can optimize their engine. It obviously still benefited them in real world Audi, which was one of the big draws to get them in. So when you've seen manufacturers come, they kind of want to keep them now, don't they, F1? And so we'll see what happens on that one. I'm surprised that F1 have gone down the route of they just want pure manufacturers. I can understand it, but who doesn't love a Sauber or a Jordan or a Williams or any other single team brand that just was independent and done their own thing? A little bit like Haas. You still need these guys on the grid, in my personal opinion. It's really nice to see Aston Martin and Audi and, car brands on there, but moving away from that too far, you kind of lose that little bit of Formula One, don't you? It is the history of that, having a Jordan and them sort of teams. So, yes, that's the news on the engine side. I think Max Verstappen has said it's the move in the right direction. Probably not enough. What he wanted to see next year was what we get in 28. And also what happens in 28, he probably wished to have gone even further as well. And I kind of agree with him on that. I think that we'll see now Max Verstappen stay. He's happy to see F1 go in the right direction. As we are now, a minute and 30 of me chatting rubbish to the end of Q1. And so far it's, Stroll, Alonso, Albon. Oh, he's got a bit of work to do, Alex. I mean, Williams are going to struggle around here. They've got a big, fat, heavy car. And they aren't the most powerful. Apparently, they've set their engine up on the engine mapping side of things just to be quick in a different way, and so aren't power unit reliable or heavy. Probably should be, because they've got the Mercedes engine in there, but obviously that's not the best according to the FIA. So but yeah, big, heavy, sluggish car around fast corners, long fast corners around Barcelona. They said they will struggle around here. We'll be happy to be close to the top 10. So it might be a push for Alex to get into Q2. He's all gone through, but he's only just squeezed through in P16. And they're both out, 17th and 18th. I can't see they are on a lap either. So Sainz is on a lap. Alex Albon isn't on a lap. Oh. Alonso might be out qualified. That cannot happen. That's a 42 race streak from Fernando Alonso, and he cannot be out qualified by Stroll at his home Grand Prix. That is a kick in the teeth, isn't it? It's done. Fernando Alonso, shock, has been out qualified by Lance Stroll. Did not see that one come in. Then comes obviously the two Cadillacs, Bottas and Perez. Bottas was actually going really well. Had a brake failure in FP3, and that saw him go off. He's been a lot closer and faster than Perez this weekend, but he's been out qualified by him when it mattered. Alex Albon is out. Won't be happy with that. He's half a second slower than Carlos Sainz. Ocon out. He's been another half a second slower than Ollie Berman. That is yeah. It's the only thing Stroll can celebrate, isn't it, at the moment? I'm not sure he's the most cheeriest guy on the grid, is he? He looks very uninterested when you see him on TV interviews, but he can celebrate. 21st place start. He's ahead of his teammate. That's a big, big deal for him. But Lewis leads, Russell leads Charles. I did not see that happening. The Ferrari's either sandbagging in a free practice, because it looked like, for all the world, that it was going to be between the McLaren and Mercedes. I mean, it is only FP1, so he definitely does look like a billionaire son. He acts like a billionaire son as well. I think that's why I kind of not really shone to him or take to him in any way. And even when he's had a good race, to be fair, it's very hard to give him a good driver rating just because of his attitude, but you have to be fair. I try to be. Sorry where I just nicked that, but let's hope Ferrari can keep this pace. I did think they would go well here, but then as soon as free practice 1 and 2 started, I thought, geez, they look way off the pace. Lewis Hamilton was really struggling. Absolutely is a nothing driver. I genuinely can't, apart from his dad being the boss there, I genuinely can't see why he's still there. He drives really well in the rain. Don't get me wrong, he's a good driver. He's done really well in the junior formulas before he made his way up to Formula One. But once he's got here, he's just not cutting it. There's probably so many young drivers out there that you think they actually like. How can you not give Yuki a spot? I think he's got more of a chance of doing something than Stroll has in that car. He's okay, except he takes everyone out, crashes into. He's just slow. This is the first Grand Prix in 42. He's beaten an old Fernando Alonso. I know Fernando is absolutely brilliant, so I'm not taking that away from Fernando because I absolutely love that guy. And he is special. But 42 Grand Prix you've been qualified by Fernando. That's shocking. 5% of the time he's okay. Yeah, pushing it probably 1 or 2% of the time he's okay. I genuinely can't see it. I really, it's almost like now he's proven he's not good enough. Clearly. We've got James Vowles. We're struggling. I wasn't expecting miracles. Difficult balance to get on top of all weekend. The James Vowles on the Williams. It's the weight, really. The problem is that, like they said, the cost cap it's good and it's bad, isn't it? Because they've cut through the weight. Actually, apparently, they've managed to work it all out, produce the parts or producing parts, but are only doing it as a need to know or need to bring basis, and so it's got to be staggered over a few Grand Prix just so they can stay within cost cap. So disappointing. Yeah, there would be different faster with a different driver. I mean, the two would be closer to each other. I don't think just look miles. They're a second off the Cadillac, who are a brand new team and by no means whatsoever have done a good job. They've come to the grid and they've been helped, because we'd be hammering them and everybody in the media would be hammering them in terms of a team that have come and not been good enough. But they've actually got a massive helping hand from Aston Martin. They cannot credit Aston Martin enough as a brand and a company can Cadillac. They should give them a present as a gift to say a thank you to Aston Martin for being so poor, because if they hadn't, they would have got destroyed as this American team that's come along, and they're comfortably last. But they're not comfortably last because they've done a solid job. I mean, they're only a tenth off the Alex Albon, half a second off a Haas. So they're kind of where you expect them to be. Aston Martin are a second slower than them, both cars. That is poor. Fernando Alonso was saying that he just didn't know where to start with this car. If you can't get any more of a damning criticism, the engine's not good, the gearbox is not good, it's not good on his tires, it can't handle snap oversteer, understeer, you name it. It's just not good. Poor on the aero side. It's just a shocking car. And as much as they tried to deflect that onto Honda early doors, it's not a good look for them. What else did I have? The Racing Bulls livery. Have you seen it? The football livery. It actually looks really nice on track. It actually reminds me of the old Benetton from probably 94, I think, where it had the light blue and white on the Benetton. Have a look at it. Let me know your thoughts on that one. That's what it reminded me of. I actually quite like it. I do like the football livery. It's very. I don't know if they got sponsored by FIFA on that one, but with the football on the wheels, I thought that was good, and the colour work really. I actually do like it with a bit of the green, light blue and white. They've dropped some really good liveries, haven't they? The orange that they did in China as well. I quite like that as well. Orange red. They did the yellow as well. Where I probably think they should have gone a little bit harder on that, but they've bought some special liveries of Racing Bulls, and so far they've done a really good job. Here it is on camera. I hope they keep the livery. Yeah, it's actually really good. It's better than their original, isn't it? So. Let's see what happens on that one. I think that's all my notes. Did you watch FP1? Anybody? We had 7 rookies. Paul Aaron, who is, I think he was of Alpine, but he was in an Audi, I think. Colton Herta, he was on track, even though he's there for GP2 as well. Luke Browning was in the Williams of Alex Albon, but didn't turn a wheel, unfortunately. So that won't count towards or help him towards time done. And it was FP1 and 2 and 3 actually. I actually tuned into all of them for all of it. It was actually really interesting. Tyre deg is going to be a big one. That was the big talk for me, really, wasn't it? Especially talking Pirelli tires. That's what I was meant to say. But 0.3 seconds of deg a lap. The softs are basically one hit run and the dead. So the top teams really want to just do one run now, don't they? Especially in Q2. This is a big one for them. Because they don't want to burn two sets of tires in this session to get into Q3. It's literally only one lap, and we've not seen that for a little while, have we? Because for most of the previous Grand Prix weekend, they've done 2, potentially 3 runs, and it's the second or third run where they've got the temperature into the tires, and they've got the best out of them. But this is literally one lap run, and looking at Max Verstappen, you can see why he's going so slow around here, because they're getting destroyed. The medium tires did a handful of laps, and they were just really like big rips through the middle of the tire. So we could see a 3-stop race. I was expecting it to be at least 2. Pirelli have bought the softer of the 2 tires, or the tire compounds that they can bring. They bought the C1, 2, and 3 last year. It's a C2, 3, and 4, so 1 step softer than last year. And I think they did it on the grounds of helping strategy and just bringing something different to the race. So generally, I've got to say, I think a 2-stop race is better than just a standard 1-stop race. But the racing so far this season, as I've got to say, has been actually really good. Cars have been able to follow. And so that's been something that's really interesting, whether that's purely engine or they've helped with the dirty air of things. We'll probably see how that develops towards the end of the year. And well, we've got 5 races in 7 weeks, so we'll definitely get a good idea of that after the European season of Formula One. So yeah, something to watch out for. Will play a factor in the race tomorrow, and I think that could, even if McLaren aren't on pole, but as long as they're close to the front row, they could be in for a win here, be a bit of a surprise, kind of like what we saw in Japan with Oscar Piastri, where Oscar probably was robbed of a win there, wasn't he? But for the safety car there, which gave Antonelli that win. Will Max come back after the summer break? Yeah. I think Max is staying now. I think rumours are or the question really is apparently is where will he come back, especially for 27. Performance clauses in that Red Bull team, and they've obviously a bit of a way back, aren't they? 3rd, 4th best, generally speaking, are Red Bull. And also the rumours are that George Russell has a performance clause in his contract, and it's not just that he gets that seat, but apparently it's that he needs to be ahead of Kimi Antonelli or performing a certain way better than him. So rumours are again opening up that Max could go to Mercedes. His dad was having a long chat with Toto Wolff over the last couple of Grand Prix weekend, and when he's out in the open, having them conversations, it just adds fuel to the fire, doesn't it? Does that suit Max? Does that suit Toto? I don't see why, if you're Toto Wolff, in the way that Kimi Antonelli's performing, why you'd come in and want Max Verstappen and rock that boat, because you kind of still don't know how special Kimi Antonelli is. And if you have a Max Verstappen up against him, do you ruin that? But it's got to happen sometime, isn't it? It'll be crunch stage, because that'll be 3rd season for Kimi, and to have someone like Max alongside him, it'll be the ultimate test, isn't it? As him as your teammate. So it could make absolute sense, and Toto still has this love affair with Max Verstappen, doesn't he? It doesn't seem to like that he lost him to Red Bull. A bad weekend with, yeah, that would be something, especially if they're in the same team. I mean, Antonelli's Toto's baby, isn't he? And he's not really hidden that fact, but he's got a special admiration for Max Verstappen. And it's more than just the fact that he's winning and a very good driver. He was on their radar, and he lost out to him because he had Hamilton and Rosberg in the car, and then Rosberg retired as champion. Yeah. Yeah, it's that's, I just don't see it. That's exactly right, Kimi. If Kimi beats Max, Max beats Kimi, it's the dynamics of, do you really want that when you're potentially, I mean, they've won 6 out of 6 so far. They are the top team. They've got the best engine despite what the FIA say. They've actually got the best car with the aero side of things as well. It's when I like pure confidence there, Prim Cat. Tell her, yeah, when. It's not an if, it's a when. It's just gonna happen. Straight back. Yes, Kimi will beat Max Verstappen if they are side by side next season in the same car. It will happen. Kimi's he's shown something actually really impressive, isn't he? It's really interesting to see. Let's hope he can have a good European season. This is where his championship fell away last season, isn't it? It was in these next 5 races, and that's why I've sort of said, if you watch the preview, that these are big 5 races for Kimi Antonelli, because he was really poor in these last races last time out. I pulled up a stat with some figures in that video of showing how bad he was. He was very rarely in the top 4 or 5, so something to watch out for on that one. On to quali. Russell only just ahead of Charles Leclerc, so the Ferraris are in Q2, where you tend to see them step up a bit. I mean, the problem is with Ferrari is tend to get the best of this is the best we see of them, isn't it, in Q2? They don't have the step up in Q3 that everybody else manages to do. And could we be in for a surprise where Q3 we will see them drop down to 5th and 6th, and there'll be 2 Mercedes followed by 2 McLarens, but the Norris and Piastri Piastri's on the cut. I mean, Portoletto will still have to be 3/10 faster, but that does mean Oscar will now have to go out and do a lap and use a set of tyres he didn't want to use. Russell, Leclerc, Antonelli, Lewis, Max, I think they can stay in the pits. I don't think anybody's finding, Bortoletto isn't finding best part of nearly a second, isn't he? 8, 9 tenths. Yeah, Oscar out now. Makes sense. Get a clear track. Don't have any issues. If he gets a clean track and a clean run, he's comfortably in the top 10. Kimi should get out there, no traffic. I just don't think he needs to. The problem is if they use 2 sets of new tyres now, they are 1 set down in Q3. So that's why I don't think they'll go out, Primcat. If you are the top 5, I don't think you go out now. It's Lando Norris is touch and go, isn't he? He's on a 16 flat, but the Alpines, I thought they would go well around here, but especially they've got a good engine in the back of that car now, and not third best, but 4th, 5th best team. But the Racing Bulls have tuned up, haven't they? Racing Bulls have really shown themselves. They've come back, and their upgrades and performances really shot up. Good results in Monaco. And they're going well here, 7th and 9th. If they can get 2 cars into Q3, that's a very good run. Good timing for Piastri there. Bortoletto was still in the pits, so he didn't. I think he's got a clear track now, Oscar. Oh, he's got a car ahead of him. No, he's stay. Oh, he's a bit of a snap though. Signs at hot. Yeah, I think the Williams are not, are they? I just don't think they've got the pace. He's a second behind the Alpine. I mean, it could have been a really, really poor lap, but it's very hard for him to pull out what he's in. He's a 16.3 and he's done an 18.3. Carlos Sainz finds 2 seconds. It must have been a very bad lap for him to be able to pull 2 seconds out. Williams got work to do, haven't they? This has really exposed their car. Yeah, he's a second down in middle sector. Carlos Sainz. P6, 15.5. Norris, 4th. He's a 10th off. Black and white flag for Hulkenberg. Just a warning, thankfully, no penalty. Sainz, 15th. He's 2.5, 2.6 off the pace. Liam Lawson needs a lap, doesn't he? Is it a battle between them and the Audis? Bortoletto, is he on a lap? Where is my timing screen gone? Bortoletto is a 10th down on Lawson in his lap. Bortoletto, 13.8. Not the greatest middle sector. Hulkenberg, a very good lap. Lindblad, I think he's done. Berman, 12th. Bortoletto to the line. Can he do it? No, 12th. Lindblad, yeah, is in the pits. He'll be disappointed. Gasly, 13th. Franco, where's he looking? 13th place. 22.1, 30.9, yeah, but Colapinto out-qualifies Gasly, though. He can be, I mean, he's not going to be happy, is he? But he'll be happier. He's beat his teammate. Behrman shaking his head. Sainz, 16th, slowest. Haas, and then the 2 Alpines. They've been best of the rest, but they're behind Audi and Racing Bull. So, geez, that's a bit of a kick in the teeth for them, isn't it? Off the back of a podium. Gasly, that felt bad. It looked bad, mate, unfortunately. That is a tough one. So we see Carlos Sainz, Behrman, Gasly, Colapinto, Bortoletto, and Lindblad. A good lap from Nico Hulkenberg. Isaac Hadjar, Liam Lawson, actually, I think he's probably the best of that session, isn't he? With a P8, beats a Red Bull and an Audi. He's put himself in, well, to beat a Red Bull and to be P8, I think, is that we expect more from Hadjar, but he's 2-3 tenths off Max Verstappen. Crucial thing is it doesn't really matter, does it? It's what they do. Do you drive or ride? I drive. No, not ride. I used to have a motorbike. It's just the weather's crap in this country here, and we get rain for 90% of the year. So I bought a bike, and it lasted all of. I must have used it like 3 times in a whole year because it was just raining or wet. And I tried it once, and if you go onto the white lines and brake on a bike, it is brown pants time, and not for me. I ride like on a pedal bike, push bike, cycling, but racing, driving, karting generally. In terms of racing, got this little number 1, sits there nicely in a karting. But that's enough showboating going off there, isn't it? Yeah, tell me about it. It's scary. Do you drive or ride, Primcat? Yeah, I've got it was well aired. You don't either. Yeah, probably the highlight of the year, that one. Clubbing like go-karts. Impressive. Was that a consistent thing? It's a hard thing, isn't it? It's I don't know what it's like for you guys out there, but it is an expensive hobby. You almost need 2 jobs to do that, but then don't have the time with the second job to actually race. Which is the only girl in the race in the 90s. Yeah, that's it's fine. I find that strange in some ways. A cheap, expensive hobby, yeah. Yeah. You can see why so many. I think that's the one thing about this sport, isn't it? It's not like a football. Anybody can go and buy a football, or if you're Brazilian, you used to just kick cans around and suddenly become the best in the world. It's an awful lot of money to just be involved and try and enjoy this sport and at home. Oh, nice. That's some work experience, isn't it? You'll know your way around a kart way more than I do. Just sit and drive me. I do like mechanics, though. Mess about with cars and stuff like that, but this expert is an expert, whatever it is, even if it's just one. It's one more than none, isn't it? Way to go. Lewis. I'm surprised at Ferrari's pace. Can they keep it up? I did have as Lewis, I think. Yeah, Lewis to be P3 for the qualifying. Pole for Russell, Kimi, and then Hamilton. BC. Yeah, before children come and yeah. you're completely broke, aren't you? It's expensive, and time, and everything else that go with children. But it's still very cool. I mean, that's some going. Like you say, back in the 90s as well, it was not a thing, was it? Like it is now, which is good. It's good to see like so many. It's helped with. I mean, I don't know if you watch it, but the F1 Academy and all that sort of stuff. With some of them are actually really, really good. And even when they leave, you can watch them go racing like other stuff. Yeah, absolutely right, Kimi. It isn't for us when you're a parent. You lose that almost right on your own time, don't you? You've lost rights to your own time when you become a parent. There we go. 11 minutes. This is the big one now, isn't it? It's where it gets exciting. Everybody's coming out. 12 minutes. It's literally this lap and, 2 laps, isn't it, in 12 minutes? But you're only getting one run now, aren't you, in this one? Max Verstappen out first. Piastri, Norris. Yeah, absolutely. You're right on that one, Kimi. Lawson, then Leclerc. It's a big qualifying session, this one. This is a track where you can still overtake. It's not the easiest to overtake, is it? Do you guys watch MotoGP? This track is an absolute classic if you do. And I was lucky enough to watch it live when Valentino Rossi made the move on Jorge Lorenzo into that final call on the last lap. And I screamed like unbelievably when he made that pass and Rossi won the race. That was special. This is one of the highlights of this track, and it's not even F1 related. That is probably one of the highlights of the Barcelona Grand Prix for me, and it's come from MotoGP. Is why I just love that. It was such a shame when they killed it with the chicane before the final corner, which added nothing to the racing or the Grand Prix, and thank God they got rid of it. Yeah, me too, Kimi. On that one, Rossi went, and I cannot name another rider. I did watch it a short. I did like there was Marc Marquez, but he's now got his younger brother in there. I started watching it again recently. Gunter Steiner of Haas, he has bought a share or bought a KTM outfit of MotoGP. So I've started to tune in a little bit again, but I know nobody. Jorge Lorenzo, that was the big one, wasn't it? Rossi and them two battling it out in the Yamaha. That was brilliant racing. And then Marc Marquez joined along in a Ducati. You had Casey Stoner as well, won a championship while Rossi was around. Sadly for him, though, he didn't hang around, did he? The Aussie, Casey Stoner. He came in, won a world championship, and Max Biaggi, he was, I used to enjoy watching him as well. Looked very cool, didn't he? Red flag. Leclerc crashed. Fuck. Charles, he's out. What the fuck? He's crashed again. Back-to-back crashes. Charles Leclerc. Bloody hell, it's not going well for him, is it? He's lost his whole front end here. Oh, that's a big smash. Medical car deployed. I mean, he's walking away, so by the time the medical car gets there, it'll be... How's he dropped that? Massive crash. Who got a line? Piastri and Max have got a lap from that one. So has he lost the rear? Oh snap! He just lost the rear. Just corrected the slide, and then there's another one. He just back end. Oh, he just the dirty track, and that is a horrible crash for Charles Leclerc. Absolutely gutted. He was on the pace as well, 21.9 in sector 1. He was the fastest. Hamilton did a 21.8 as well. Flip. Look its way away, yeah. I mean, apparently a big crash. It didn't look that bad, did it, as it's? But he's walked away. As they almost always do nowadays, isn't it? We don't have the era of F1 where it was a crash and you just pray that they signal they're alive, don't they? Now it's a bit of bruising generally at best, isn't it? Which is absolutely incredible. Oscar pulled off a lap there, hasn't he? 15.1. A tenth and a half faster than Max Verstappen. The problem is Charles Leclerc now 10th. And we're just talking about how good they looked and how good he looked. It was the faster of the two Ferraris. And that's ruined his race. It's on Lewis now, isn't it? Well, he could start from P10. I don't know if he'll start. Depends if he's got gearbox issues or anything else, isn't it, Kimi? Whether he starts from the pits or P10. I think he'd probably rather start from P10 than the pits. To lose 10 places if he can make it out on P10. It's horrible. 8.5 minutes to go. Will they squeeze 2 laps? Such a shame. Charles was looking quick as well. Back-to-back weekends, he's burned it in qualifying. He's got a new contract and it's not going well the first 2 Grand Prix for him after that, is it? But he looked really good from practice 1 onwards. He was the faster of the 2 Ferraris. Oh, such a shame. We've lost someone that might have make it interesting tomorrow. He's not going to be anywhere tomorrow, is he, in the race? Something that he needs to sort of work on, doesn't he, Charles Leclerc? He does seem to crash. It's either win it or bin it almost too often. He's clearly quick. Just this is a problem, isn't it? Imagine what he'd be like if it was a world championship or he's, that pressure then. And that's your fear with Charles, isn't he? Mega quick driver, but if you're going to drop it like this, under pressure, yeah, I guess so. But he's... Martin Brundle saying that they might need a new chassis, potentially. We should hope not. That would be a pit lane start. Not yet, Kimi, unfortunately. It just... Don't know if that's driver mistake. Probably. Make your move now, Hammy. Problem is, Kimi, we don't know whether you get all this power surge stuff now, don't you, with the battery, and the engine has a mind of its own, and whether it's something like that that's caught him out. Charles, though, has said, I'm honest with these things. If it's my mistake, I'll hold my hands up, and if it's the team or the car, I'm not accepting it, because he was fuming with the brakes in Monaco. So it'll be interesting to see what he says off the back of this. Brembo might be sat there smiling, won't they, saying it's not our brakes this time. What is to blame now? We go 8.5 minutes. Oh, they're getting. Oh, there we go. I think we go. We're not yet. They're just making the way to the end of the pit lane. Yeah, I don't blame you, Kimi. It's rubbish, this whole battery engine driving stuff. Very, very complicated. Even the drivers are not fully understanding of it, which is why we've seen some of the racing be so strange early doors. Big snap from Shaw. Karen saying he was slightly different line to what he's normally used. Yeah, boost button centric, even battery management of you push too much and you use the battery in the wrong places or the wrong way, which is why Charles was really, really annoyed with the way this works. It said it just kills qualifying. You push the car to be faster, but you're slower. Yeah, it does look like he is wider. Is it just dusty track? And he's tried to... He went actually further, isn't even with the snap he went. I'm saying on entry... I'm saying he's gone slightly offline, ran wide, and when you get wide, it's very dusty around here in Spain, isn't it, in Barcelona? That is a tricky corner once you're wide on that one. I think he just didn't want to give up the lap, maybe, and it could be, yeah. It is windy again, apparently. They had said radio talk of watch out for a gust of wind, so watch out for that one. So restart in 2 minutes. Everybody's queuing up in pit lane. They can now, can't they? Because they can because they've got a battery in the car, they can restart the engine. So that's why they don't worry about the overheating like they used to do years ago, and would not rush and sit, or would be very wary of sitting at the bottom of the pit lane. But now they can get to the bottom of the pit lane and sit there, and it's effectively why as soon as they can go out, they do go out, and you're only allowed to go out when you've got a restart time, is that they're allowed to go and sit in pit lane. So sat their cars off with 1 minute to go. I did, yeah. I found that weird, Kimi. Didn't hear the complaint after, though. It was very bumpy down the straight, so I think it was a funny commentary as well, wasn't it, where he sort of said, I think he'd know if it was bumpy because of the wind or it's something wrong with the actual car. But that was a strange one. He's not had the horrible engineering he had last year, though, has he? Which is obviously been better for him. Well, that was almost must be the water sort of comment from Charles Leclerc, if you remember that a couple of years ago now, is it? Three, two, one, restart. Green light. Who's up first? I think he was probably baffled by the response, wasn't he, Kimi, on that one? What do you say back to that when someone just said it was probably the wind? With the car dragging down the straight. To be fair, it looked like it was dragging everywhere, didn't it? It was really, really low. So apparently they're going for banker, them fresh tyres for the main run now, because obviously most or pretty much everyone was on a lap, weren't they, when Shaw binned it? So they've got the best out of these tyres already, haven't they? Especially everyone was on at least on a quick lap one, sector one at least. Yeah. Yeah, everybody did at least a quick sector one. So they've sort of eaten the best out of these tyres, haven't they already? Kimi, he has seemed off the pace so far. FP3 wasn't the quickest. My pick for pole would the prick that'll get pole will be, it's going to be George Russell, I think. As much as I don't want to. Kimi or Oscar? I mean, Oscar's pulled out a hell of a lap, hasn't he? That's the fastest of qualifying so far with that 15-1. Have you got, guys? Primcat's gone for Kimi or Oscar? Who are you banking, Kimi? I hope Kimi Antonelli pulls this off. If he does this, I'd be absolutely buzzing. That's not a good lap from Antonelli, is it? Russell, a very quick middle sector. Lewis is 2/10 down on Piastri. Russell, this is the middle sector is where they've been absolutely brilliant, haven't they? Yeah, pole position. Not much though. 31 thousandths is horrendously close. First attempt is that was a poor lap, wasn't it? Lewis, wasn't it? To be fair, he was his. Let's see, what's his middle. He's lost all his time on the. He's only lost 2/10 at the. How's he lost all that time to? I'm missing something here. Oh, I'm looking at his best. On that lap, though, it was just not very good at all, was it? 15.7, and theoretical best lap time for Lewis is a 15.3 if he hooks up his 3 best sectors. He's still not pole position, is he? This is a weekend where Kimi needs this, doesn't he? In a sense of, if he's not going to be on pole, he needs to be right behind Russell. He can't be a 5th or a 6th, can he? And that's got to be where he's different to George Russell when he's not doing well, because Russell has been 5th or 6th. And you've got to say he needs to be front row. Yeah, I think Hamilton be buzzing with the front row. It's close, though. I don't think we've seen the full pace of Lewis yet, have we? That lap was clearly not his best, and the Ferrari is really hard on its tyres, isn't it? Oh, you've gone for Isaac. That is a brave pick. You could do it. Lewis looks like he is going to be last over the line. Apparent best track conditions, isn't it? You get the rubberiest track when you go out last. He just needs to hope nobody gets in his way. Or any red flag, and that's the risk, isn't it? Kimi opening up the lap. Big one for him. He can't be P4 at the end of this. Russell's lap time is beatable, isn't it? 21.8 is what Lewis did as his best. 21.8 is what Max Verstappen did in Sector 1. It's Antonelli faster. Let's hope George Russell isn't faster in his. Oh, he is faster. 21.8 for Russell as well. It's the middle sector where George has been absolutely brilliant. This is it. Now or never. A brilliant personal best for Antonelli, a 30.2. Is that the best? It is the best. For now. George is even faster. 30.1. George is flying, isn't he? Kimi Antonelli, provisional pole. He's got to pray George messes this up, but George is flying. He should have pole position. He has 0.3 of a second. George Russell. Wow. Norris third. Oscar. Where's Max? Max is in with a shout. Max is in with a shout to split the two Mercedes. Lewis is not great, is he? Oh, he's not there or thereabouts. Hamilton's up. Hamilton's up in the middle sector. Can he? If Lewis pulls this off. Come on, Lewis. A 30-0 in the middle sector. We were talking about how good the Mercedes were. Jeez. Show Lewis. Oh, second. 0.64, guys. Where has that come from, Lewis Hamilton? Oh, he's nothing in it. It's half a tenth, guys. Jeez, what a lap. I said that Lewis Hamilton does well around here, and wow, I'm not far off with my predictions. For pole, I had, as I'm going to brag rightly about this one, I had Russell, Kimi, and then Hamilton. It is Russell, Hamilton, Kimi. Wow. Jeez. How close was Lewis Hamilton to spoil the party? It wasn't spoiling anything for me. It was a bit sheer joy if he'd nicked pole position. Russell said he's back in the groove again. I hope in race day tomorrow he's not. Come on, Lewis, get into P1 first and ruin George's race. That was a brilliant final. This is why you love qualifying again. So close. What a lap from George Russell. That was exciting. This is why you love qualifying. What a lap. George Russell, 3/10 on Kimi Antonelli. He looked like he was the faster of the two pretty much all weekend, wasn't he? But Lewis Hamilton, he looked nowhere in free practice 1, free practice 2, even free practice 3, but he's come with a lap, and that just a penny for the thoughts of Charles Leclerc, because he's been faster than Lewis Hamilton all weekend. That middle sector from Lewis is 30.008. And we were talking about how quick the Mercedes were. George was brilliant at 30.1 in the middle sector. Lewis was brilliant in the middle sector. He wasn't a million miles away in sector 1. He did it a 21.8, didn't he? 21.87, and it was a 21.84 for George Russell. So he was still in the ballpark. It was his final sector where George pulled off a 22.7 in the final sector, and Lewis did a 22.8, and he needed to just be anywhere within the 22.7 zone, and he would have been on it. Hamilton was slow. One drove like a maniac in 2. I mean, he kept it on track in 2, didn't he? Sector 2 was phenomenal from Lewis. The problem is with these tyres now as well, isn't it? You have to manage them all the way through. It's not just bung them on and, they'll last to the end of the lap. It's George will be very happy. He's got a rear gunner between him and Kimi Antonelli, Lewis Hamilton. I think he might have been a tad nervous then, because he would have needed a good start if Antonelli was alongside him. Lewis looks a bit funny with his hair out like that, doesn't he? Don't think I've seen him like that ever. I'm not sure I like it, but anyway, he can be forgiven for a bad hair day when he pulls off a special P2 lap. Absolutely gutted for Charles Leclerc now that I've seen Lewis Hamilton do that, because I think we could have seen a Ferrari on pole position. Genuinely. What a qualifying session, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. Brilliant for watching along. Kimi and Primcat, as always, massively appreciated you two sticking along for the hour. But it's been good. Let's hear George Russell. I can't stand this guy. Yeah. Thank you, Primcat. Appreciate it. And Kimi sticking along. Hope you enjoyed it. What's happened to McLaren, you've got to say? I mean, I don't know if you're listening to George and would rather listen to him than me, but... First time Kimi's not on the front row. Kimi saying he didn't have the feeling with the car. It's shown, hasn't it? He did. His FP missing FP1 really cost him. Fucking Libreed. Kimi saying slipstream will be strong tomorrow. Talk to Lewis. Big smile on his face, rightly so. Lewis has gone there. Lewis. Difficult weekend. Missing P1, he said, it's had a huge offset. Even Lewis saying missing FP1 had a huge offset. So he felt like he was really on the back foot with the FP2. Kimi missed FP1. And could that explain it? I think they're going to have to think wisely now, isn't it, of how they give these young drivers the 4 practice sessions. Lewis said we are in a good position to fight for tomorrow. We have a race. Fighting talk. Could we see Lewis Hamilton with the first win in Ferrari in Spain? I mean, that'd be another kick in the teeth for George, doesn't he? To put himself on pole position, and this time it's a Ferrari and not his teammate that goes on to win it. Lewis saying all weekend been about 4 tenths off, even with the upgrade. That's where they thought they were. Less than a tenth. This is the track as well, isn't it, really? The one that they say is it shows the car. This is going to exploit your weaknesses. And Ferrari have come with a hell of a lot of upgrades. The last time they did that, it kind of almost backfired a little bit. But this weekend, with that lap, and we've kind of been robbed a little bit with Charles Leclerc's mistake. What a race we've got. But there we have it, wrapping up the race tomorrow. I think will be really interesting. I don't think it's going to be straightforward. We've got massive tyre deg. We've got Lewis splitting the 2 Mercedes. Norris isn't a million miles away. I think they will be very, very good on their tyres. It's a characteristic that they were brilliant with last year and carry forward this year. We've had safety cars in every Grand Prix so far this season. I'm expecting probably another one, at least another VSC tomorrow. We're seeing cars drop off, aren't we? 5, 6 cars a race, not finish. So we could have a real race. It might be just one where you just need to keep your head and get to the end. And with these tyres and the way they're dropping off, it's going to be a huge, huge challenge. So I don't think the race is over with George being at the front, especially with Lewis right there. and we could see a Mercedes battle if it's going to turn out that they are the best when it comes to race pace. But who knows what the weather might say under certain temperatures. The tyres are really on a fine point, aren't they? And that's what tends to be the difference between cars race weekend to race weekend, and what you expect to see. So in for an absolute cracker. I will be here for the watch along, so please join me then. Hope you enjoyed it. George Russell pole position, Lewis Hamilton with a brilliant P2, Kimi Antonelli in P3. I'm looking forward to the race tomorrow. Thank you guys, Kimi and Primcat, for joining along, and everybody that's tagged along. See you guys tomorrow. Hopefully it should be brilliant. A long race I'm expecting. Can't wait to get going. Thank you. See you on the next one. Take care, guys.